Humans, you ever feel like you're stuck in a cycle you know you need to break, but for some reason you keep getting in your own way? Maybe you start something exciting, but you don't follow through. Maybe you attract the same toxic situations, and deep down, you know it's because of your own choices. Maybe every time an opportunity comes your way, you find a reason to doubt yourself. Let's be real. Sometimes the biggest enemy is not the outside world, it's you. And today, we're breaking that cycle. Why do we do this? Is it fear, comfort, or us just straight up getting in our own way? Welcome to Vibes N Affirmations, where there's a thin line between crashing out and keeping it all together. I'm your host, G, your favorite voice of reason and sometimes chaos. And today, we're unpacking the real reason why self-sabotage keep us stuck. Let's get into it. Are you the reason why you're not where you want to be? Do you find yourself making up excuses, overthinking, or staying comfortable even if you know you deserve better? Let's talk about how we get in our own way and how to stop. I want you to think about this. What's one area of your life where you're holding yourself back? Because by the end of this episode, we're going to break that pattern. Before we dive in, let's set the tone with today's affirmation. I am worthy of success, and I will no longer block my own blessings. Yes, say it with me. I am worthy of success, and I will no longer block my own blessings. Now, I really want you to sit with this one. Let it sink in, because self-sabotage is not about bad habits, procrastination, or making poor decisions. It's deeper than that. It's about beliefs. It's about the way we see ourselves, about the invisible limits we place on our own success. Because let's be real, if deep down you feel like you don't deserve happiness, growth, success, you will always find a way to block yourself from receiving it. You will downplay opportunities. You will stay in situations that no longer serve you. You will make excuses for why something isn't really for you, when really, you're just scared of what happens if you actually step into it. So today, we're breaking it all down, because the only thing standing between us and the life we want is us, not other people. It's our own mindset, our own fears, our own habits that keep us stuck. What are the behaviors, thought process, patterns, and excuses we need to let go of in order to finally get out of our own way? Because today, we're choosing success. We're choosing growth. We're choosing to stop playing small. Say it with me one more time. I am worthy of success, and I will no longer block my own blessing. Let's start here. Self-sabotage is when you unconsciously block your own growth, success, happiness. But the real question is, why do we do this? Most of the time, it all comes down to fear. Fear of failure. What if I try and it doesn't work? Fear of success. What if I get everything I want and I can't handle it? Fear of change. I step out of my comfort zone and lose everything that's familiar to me. And the worst part is, self-sabotage isn't always obvious. It's not like you wake up one day and say, let me go ahead and ruin my own progress today just for fun. No, self-sabotage is sneaky. It creeps in through small habits, little excuses, unconscious choices that over time keep you stuck in the same place. And the craziest part of it all, we assimilate the sneakiness into our everyday life so well that we don't even realize we're holding ourselves back. Here are some common forms of self-sabotage. Recognize yourself in any of these? Number 1, procrastination. You wait until last minute, or worse, you don't start it at all. And when someone asks you why, you hit them with the classic, I work better under pressure. This one is one of my favorites. I've used it countless of times. Is it really the truth? If you really worked better under pressure, why does the process feel so chaotic? If last minute motivation is the key, why do you always regret waiting until the last second? If pressure fuels productivity, why does it always come with stress, frustration, and a rush final product? The truth is, it's not that we work better under pressure. Is that we avoid the discomfort of getting started. What's really happening when we procrastinate? Starting is uncomfortable. That blank page, that first step, the unknown territory, it's intimidating. Fear creeps in. What if we fail? What if it's not good enough? What if we start and realize we don't know what the hell we're doing. So we delay. And in delaying, we create the illusion of control. I'll start later when I feel ready. But spoiler alert, later never comes. The perfect time does not exist. Avoidance doesn't eliminate the task. It just makes it harder. So instead of calling it working better under pressure, let's call it what it is. Avoiding the discomfort of starting, because starting means facing the work, the responsibility, and the possibility of failure. And here's the thing. You don't have to be ready to start. You just have to do it. You just have to start, because waiting until the last minute does not make the task any easier. It's just going to make you more stressed. 2, overthinking, self-rejection in disguise. You can convince yourself that possibly the worst case scenario is waiting for you. You rehearse failure so many times in your head that at some point you accept that as reality before you even try. You think preparing for the worst, but you're really just blocking yourself from the best. You think you're being cautious, but you're really just avoiding the possibility of success. The irony, you are failing before you even start. Because listen, that opportunity you overthought, someone else took it. And that idea you talked yourself out of, someone else made it happen. That dream you convinced yourself was so unrealistic, someone with fewer resources, less experience, less overthinking is out there living it. Yep, that's simple. Isn't that some shit? While you're analyzing, life is happening. While you're second guessing, someone else is taking action. So next time your brain starts spiraling on the what ifs, ask yourself, what if it actually works? What if I'm actually ready? The real problem with overthinking, it always feels like the smart thing to do. You tell yourself, I'm being logical. I'm thinking things through. And yes, planning is great, but there's a difference between preparation and pure hesitation. It tricks you into feeling like you're in control. You convince yourself that running through every case scenario makes you ready, when really, it just keeps you stuck. It steals time. While you're analyzing, life is happening. While you're second guessing, someone else is taking action. So next time your brain starts to spiral with all the what ifs, ask yourself, what if it actually works? What if I'm actually ready? What if I just go for it? Because in reality, you will never think yourself into confidence. At some point, you just have to move. So fake it till you make it, baby. Because that's what we're good at over here. 3, the comfort zone that's keeping you stuck. We love to say we want better. We want healthier relationships, more fulfilling careers, new opportunities. But when the time comes to actually choose better, you run right back to what feels familiar. You keep dating the same type of person, even though they're never going to make you happy. You keep tolerating the same toxic behaviors, even though you know you deserve more. You stay in draining situations, not because they're good for you, but because they're comfortable. Why? Because it feels familiar. Familiarity feels safe. And even when it's bad for us, we convince ourselves that is better than the unknown. And here's the reality check. Comfort zones don't keep you safe. They keep you stuck. That comfort you're holding on to is just a cycle. And if you don't break it, you'll be living the same experience over and over again. So ask yourself, are you choosing what is best for you? Or are you just choosing what you know? 4, perfection. Perfectionism is just fear in a designer dress. You won't start the business until you have every single detail figured out. You won't post the content unless it looks exactly right. You won't take the opportunity unless it's 100% sure that you won't mess it up. And guess what? That moment will never come, because perfect does not exist. And the people that are winning aren't the ones who waited till things were flawless. They just started and they figured it out as they went. Along the way, they let themselves be seen, messy, and perfect, because they knew for the perfect would mean waiting forever. So let me ask you, how many dreams have you put on pause because you're afraid of being seen in the process? Done is better than perfect. Starting messy is better than not starting at all. Number 5, doubting your worth. The silent killer to all dreams. You turn down opportunities because you think you're not ready. You convince yourself you need more time, more skills, more preparation. But do you really? Or are you just waiting for this confident boost that only happens after you take action? Because here's what pisses me off about self-doubt. The people winning aren't always the smartest. The people succeeding aren't always the most prepared. The people making moves aren't always the best at what they do. They just decided to be the ones who go for it anyway. Because confidence isn't something you earn before you start. It is something you build by doing. So stop convincing yourself that you need to be more ready. Because if the opportunity is in front of you, that means you're ready enough. Take the chance. Do it now. Start before you feel ready. Because by the time you wait for the moment where all the doubt disappears, you'll be waiting forever. Listen, I used to be the queen of overthinking. Low-key, I would have the plan, the vision, the blueprint. But when it was time to actually execute, I convinced myself it was not the right time, that I needed to find a way until everything was perfect. But in reality, I was afraid. I was afraid of stepping into the version of myself I knew it was meant to be. Creating Vibes and Affirmations, it's the prime example of me pushing through self-doubt. Not in a million years did I expect to put my thoughts, voice, and personality out there for the world to see, especially not on social media. If you know me, then you already understand how strong my personality is. I've always been the person to come with deep conversations, unfiltered advice, and thought-provoking questions. But turning that into a podcast, actually putting myself out there for public consumption, that was different. That was scary. Fun fact, Vibe N Affirmations was originally meant to be anonymous. I had no plans of showing my face, sharing personal experiences, or attaching my identity to it. My voice, sure. My thoughts, absolutely. But the person behind it all, that was supposed to stay in the background. Why? Because I was afraid. I was afraid to be seen. I was afraid of people's opinions, afraid of stepping into something bigger than myself. But here's the thing about self-doubt. It doesn't go away until you prove to yourself that you can move through it. And that's exactly what I did. Now, Vibes and Affirmations isn't just a podcast. It's a testament to choosing growth over fear, stepping into my voice, realizing that what I have to say matters. And if you're listening, so does yours. Moral of the story, do the thing that scares you. It might just change everything. Perfectionism, procrastination, and doubt are all forms of self-sabotage. If you're waiting for the right time, spoiler alert, it's right now. You out here settling for less because it's comfortable. Ask yourself, if nothing changes, will I be okay with this shit a year from now? And the answer is no. It's time to move differently. So, is you blocking your own blessings? I want you to really sit with this. Be honest with yourself. What's one way you've been holding yourself back? What's one self-sabotaging habit you keep repeating? And ask yourself, if you remove that block, what could your life look like a year from now? Because listen, if you wouldn't tolerate someone else holding you back, why are you allowing yourself to do it? We love to cut people off for not supporting us, not matching our energy, keeping us stagnant. But what happens when the person holding you back is you? You're the one talking yourself out of opportunities. You're the one playing small. You're the one delaying your own growth. But the good news, you can change that starting today. So I'm going to give you some steps to stop blocking your own blessings. Recognize the pattern. Start noticing when you're getting in your own way. Be aware of your self-sabotaging tendencies so you can break them. Challenge the negative thoughts. Ask yourself, is this fear talking or is this facts? Because most of the time, fear lies. It convinces you that you're not ready, that you'll fail, that you don't deserve it, that you don't deserve better. But none of it is true. Take the leap anyway. Stop waiting for you to feel ready and just start moving now. Because if you wait until you're ready, you're never going to do none. Actions build confidence. You won't feel ready until you start. Set up a system for success. If you struggle with discipline, consistency, or accountability, set up reminders, routines, and a support system that helps you keep on track. Most importantly, forgive yourself and just keep going. Breaking old habits take time. Don't stay stuck. Just keep pushing forward. What's one way you've been self-sabotaging? If you stop that behavior today, what would be possible for you? What's one small step you can take right now to break this cycle? So say it with me one more time. I am worthy of success and I will no longer block my own blessings. Listen, you're not your past. You're not your past mistakes. You're not your bad habits. You are someone fully capable of showing up for themselves. So stop waiting. Stop doubting. Stop blocking your own blessings, because at the end of the day, self-sabotage is just a bad habit. And like any habit, it could be broken. The life you want isn't out of reach. It's on the other side of deciding to stop getting in your own way. So if you needed a sign to stop doubting yourself, delaying your dreams, or staying stuck, this is it. That's it for today's episode of Vibe N Affirmations. If this spoke to you, send it to someone who needs to hear it. Tag a friend, share it. Let's keep the conversations going. If you haven't followed already, follow the podcast so you won't miss next week's episode. Next up, we're talking something just as personal and as real: healing or just distracting yourself. Because let's be honest, not all self-care is actually healing. Are you working on yourself, or you're just staying busy to avoid the real work? You don't want to miss this one. Until next time, humans, stay solid, and keep vibing.